I'm going to give it to Rooney.
I'm going to give it to Garnacho.
Okay, well, there you go. See?
Well, there we go, 1-1. All right, Shaka, with Onana tied for the most clean sheets in the Premier League, has he redeemed himself after a shaky start?
He's improving. There's no question he's getting better. He's settling in behind this back four, whatever it looks like. I still think he's got a way to go to redeem himself in inverted commas, just because I don't think Manchester United themselves, and while yes, they somehow have gotten themselves in conversations we were discussing in the show, I still don't think that Manchester United themselves have hit their fullest heights. So it's very premature, given that we're 13 games into the season, to be talking about somebody who's kind of, well, first of all, ruined his reputation and then somehow now redeemed himself.
Was that your connoisseur voice? The tone of the voice changed a little.
Yeah,
it felt like you were...
That's my goalkeeper voice.
It felt like you were swinging a little...
I have a different voice when we
glass of wine while you were analysing that.
A different voice when we're talking goalkeepers, Ali.
I was very connoisseur.
Smell of sandalwood.
And I love when you use inverted commas.
That's right.
I'm told we have to break the tie on the Garnacho-Rooney question. Gab? Garnacho or Rooney?
I'm going to go with Garnacho simply because, obviously, Rooney, bigger stage and whatnot. But, I mean, Garnacho's came off his foot. Rooney's came off his shin. Claimed to be a connoisseur.
Yes, sir.
But, yeah.
Spoken like a true connoisseur.
I co-sign that.
Okay.
I co-sign that 100%.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. You know the skill it takes to generate that sort of power with your shin? You know how special it has to be?
Where did your bicycle come off?
Not my shin.
Come off his knee.
Beautiful.
For all, I'll start with you, Nadem. In what order will these three teams finish the Premier League this season? Newcastle, Spurs, United. Who sneaks in the top four?
Do you know what? This will feel like it's recency bias, but I'm going to go for United, Spurs, Newcastle.
Okay. Gab?
Yeah, I'm going to lean the same way for the simple reason that maybe with Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in, they can spend some money in January. Everybody's injured at Spurs. Did you see the team that they had out there? How are those guys, Bentancur, who hasn't played in like 9 months, the other one, Lo Celso, their entire midfield, Gil, Lo Celso, Bentancur, in their first starts of the season, you got to be able to play. And I think with Newcastle, also a terrible injury crisis, also losing Tonali. If they're in Europe, I think it's just going to take a lot out of them. So, weirdly, I'm going to lean United.
I'm going to go Newcastle, Spurs, United.
Oh, really?
Why are you doing this? You said that you're a jinx for Newcastle.
Right. I'm going to go Spurs, United, Newcastle. And my reverse jinx worked this weekend. You're right, Ali.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I'm not picking Newcastle.
Good looking out, Ali.
Good.
I'm looking out for you, Shaq.
Thanks. You saved me from myself.
Okay. Speaking of jinx, Spurs, United, Newcastle.
All right. Gab, after Juve against Inter today, what year of the Derby d'Italia was the best you've ever seen and why?
So maybe not from a football perspective, but from a drama perspective and from a big name superstar perspective, those derbies, I think it was the 97-98 season, when you had the original Ronaldo, fenomeno, up against those Juve teams, those kind of nasty Juve teams with Mark Giuliano, and of course also a lot of talent with Del Piero, with that Zinedine Zidane fella. I would say that kind of era, late 90s, you had Christian Vieri for Inter, you had Diego Simeone, Javier Zanetti. That was really, really special, I think.
Yeah, those were the days. Ale, Martial has 9 goals out of 16 games against Everton. He's been out of form, but he had to score against them. Question, how is it possible for one to always turn up against a certain opponent? How can a player make a team his favourite opponent?
It comes from success. There is a feeling that I think you get as a player when you see a different team jersey. And that team jersey is one that you actually feel comfortable. And you feel comfortable about those defenders. You feel comfortable about the setting. You can't really explain this other than you create momentum by scoring goals. And then every time that you see this team, you're like, well, I have good feelings about this, guys. I have good feelings about this place. I have good feelings about the team, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to step in and I scored. And look at me, I'm happy again. And any striker who has played at any high level would tell you that there is 2 or 3 teams that they feel really comfortable and really excited to play against because they've had a good record against them.
Gab's giggling.
No, I was just thinking, like, I knew he had a good record against Everton, but when you see it's 9 goals out of 16, right? So it's 1 and 2 for a guy who plays center forward on one of the biggest teams in the Premier League, and all of a sudden it seems like some sort of otherworldly feat. I kind of feel like 1 and 2 should be Martial's record against the entire league. Maybe it's that weird thing where he kind of becomes normal Martial against Everton, and he's somebody else the rest of the time.
Yeah, I'm told
Not normal Martial.
62 goals in 206 games for United.
Gotta be honest with you, I'll take it. I'll take the productivity of 9 goals in 16 matches. I'll take that.
Just play him against Everton. And then you can have the rest of the year off, Anthony.
Yes. Too much work.
See you in April.
Can I add a little question here? I didn't sign
Did
in.
you write in?
I didn't. But I want to ask
Hashtag.
this. I want to ask a striker. With Bruno, with Bruno giving the penalty today to Rashford, I've always wondered about when a penalty breaks a goal-scoring drought, that psychologically does boost it for a player, that it came from the spot, but it still seems to be the boost that they needed. How does that work?
Because when you're desperate for goals, it doesn't matter how it comes. And I have to say, if you're struggling with confidence and you're given the opportunity to take a penalty in a moment that matters and is well documented, and this game actually was 1-0 and the momentum was shifting back and forth, and particularly I think you would argue that Everton had the momentum at that time. There's some pressure behind this one. So I don't know that this wasn't the sort of gift that you love to have. But once you score it, then you feel a whole lot better about yourself and about the team and helping. And so it's any time that you're going through a lack of confidence, you just want to see the ball going into the back of the net. A deflection, doesn't matter. Tap-ins, layups, whatever the case may be. My kind of range. Look, if when you're desperate, you do whatever it takes to score a goal. In this case, I thought it was... While I think it was gracious of Bruno Fernandes, it actually puts a lot of pressure on a player who had been struggling with that pressure, but to his credit, Marcus Rashford came through for Manchester United.
All right. Xhaka has been criticising Arteta because of Ramsdale. What can he make of Ramsdale's performance yesterday?
It was awful. But to that point, it's exactly what I've been saying all along. Say who's your number 1, say who's your number 2. I was... From day one, I said, don't have this, well, both of you are my number 1s and possession is 9/10. Say who's 1 and who's 2. By not doing that, Raya plays within himself, worrying about making mistakes, and you saw the mistakes come as a result. Ramsdale gets an opportunity. He sees this as a be-all and end-all for him to reclaim his shirt. He makes mistakes as a result. And in the end, it does a huge disservice to both. That has been... As I've said from the get-go, while I think Aaron Ramsdale is the better goalkeeper of the 2, it is Arteta's decision who he plays, who he has as his number 1. He goes with Raya, but let it be known, and even though, yes, all the suggestion is Ryan is his number 1, but let it be known, and don't let there be any room for doubt in either of their minds who is 1 and who is 2. Otherwise, you get both of them making mistakes, which is what you saw.
All right. For Gab, start, bench or drop. Pineapple on pizza, well done steak with ketchup, or fries on penne like Steve McManaman
don't make me
eats
do
it.
this.
You have to.
Don't make me do this.
That is drop all 3.
Hashtag FC Extra Time, Gab.
Man. Oh.
All right, I will say this. I'm going to start pineapple on pizza because while it's not my thing, pizza is not part of my culture. I'm not from Naples. If there are some weirdos elsewhere in the world who want to put pineapple on, yeah, whatever. Maybe they like the taste. I don't know. well done steak, I just really should not be well done. If then you put ketchup on top, and this is why I'm benching it. If you then put ketchup on, you're kind of adding two crimes to each other. Putting fries on penne is that's just unconscionable. That just gets you dropped. That's just not. No matter how much you like fries. And by the way, there are some forms of regional pasta where they do add potatoes, but it's not French fries, and it's not, Steve McManaman ordering a side of fries and dumping them on top of his penne arrabbiata. It's just not that.
All right. Naden, what's coming up on the Gab and Juls podcast, Naden, this week?
This week, it's a big week for the podcast. Filling in for a legend himself. Gab Marcotti is going to be very, very difficult, but we're going to talk about the Premier League games this weekend, the Derby d'Italia, and then there'll be lots more that Jules will send me in the morning, and I'll do my best impression of Gab Marcotti, yeah.
Okay.
Gab off on holiday.
Well, then you can...
A raw steak.
Not holiday. Assignment. It's assignment.
Yeah.
If you're going to play the best version of Gab, that means that you don't allow Jules to talk. That's the first thing that you got to do.
If you are going to play Gab, you get to go on a 3-week holiday next week.
Yes.
You do one show and then you go for 3 weeks on holiday.
Hey, Gab is a professional.
Yeah, he is.
Honestly.
Can't believe you, Shaq.
Come on, Shaq.
All right, Gab, safe travels to you.
Feeling guilty.
Yes, you are.
And we got through it without any questions about Brahim Diaz and whether that had ever happened to any of you guys.
Gastrointestinal issues.
Yeah, because,
Yeah,
it took some Pepto. Things are better right now.
everything's better.
Well, he's barely hanging on, but...